Caseus, Jedi Master. Chapter 5. Caseus woke up and got dressed very early, a habit he'd become accustomed to after years on Sabo's farm. Peeking around the corner, he checked on Liara, who was still sound asleep. Opening the exterior door, Caseus stepped out and was greeted by Daku, sitting calmly and staring at him. "You're still here?" Caseus sighed and walked over to the beach, where he sat down on a rock and began his morning meditation. Looking off into the distance, he stared at the far-off city. They would have to head there before too long. They were running low on food and parts for their water purification system. Caseus had a few credits, but they wouldn't get him much, and the chances that any system still accepted Republic currency were slim to none. Still, any food was better than no food. As he closed his eyes, he felt something rustling in his back pocket. Turning around, he saw Daku rummaging through the back pouch on his belt. "Hey!" Caseus grabbed the furry critter by the scruff of his neck and looked at him. "Cut it out." Daku tilted his head as Caseus sighed and set him down.
"Caseus?"
Liara walked over and pet Daku, who ran around her legs.
"What are we doing first?"
"I think we'll run you through your saber drills. After that, we're going into the city to get supplies. We might have to trade a few things here on the ship to get them, though."
"I get to see the city?"
Caseus looked sternly at her. "Yes, if you stay close to me and don't attract any unwanted attention."
"Okay. Come on, let's go."
Liara grabbed her practice saber and stood at the ready as Caseus smiled. It was good to see her so enthusiastic for her lessons. Maybe he was doing all right so far. Caseus grabbed his weapon and stood across from her. "Okay, we're going to try something a bit different today. I'm not going to give you any hints or tips this time. I want you to fight me as though this were an actual battle. I want to see you utilize what you've learned so far."
"Okay. Ready."
Caseus kept his guard up as his weapon crossed Liara's before he struck towards her head. Liara quickly moved back to avoid the attack and swung her stick forward, knocking Caseus' weapon downward. Liara quickly moved to the left and swiped at her master's leg. Just as he caught her attack, she somersaulted past his feet and tripped him to his knees before swinging at his back. Caseus held his saber behind him and blocked it. He was surprised she managed to get the jump on him like that. As their session continued, it seemed as if both master and student were thriving off the energy of the battle. Liara was by no means more skilled, but her stamina and resilience was surprising. It wouldn't last long, however, as Liara soon ran out of tricks to try on Caseus, who was quickly chipping away at her defenses. Just as she swung at his chest, Caseus caught her weapon in a circle parry, as he had done during one of their previous sessions, disarming her of her weapon. Liara, rather than give up, called on the force and pulled her stick back to her hand, leaving Caseus smiling. "Impressive. You're learning to utilize the force during combat." Their fight continued as Liara struggled to gain any ground in her fight. Soon, she was getting upset, and after blocking another attack from Caseus, she began to strike at his weapon harder and harder before it snapped, and Caseus reached out with the force, stopping her attack. "Liara, calm down." Liara breathed heavily and set her stick down.
"What? I was winning."
"Liara, this is training."
"But you said to act like it was real."
"I know, but even if this was a real fight, I'd be concerned. You were getting very aggressive there towards the end. Don't feed those emotions, Liara."
"Why? I thought I was supposed to win."
"It's not about winning, Liara. This isn't a competition. In the heat of battle, you have to keep a cool head or you lose focus and get sloppy. Trust me on that. Corbin made the same mistake. He would get so fixated on winning that he'd get tunnel vision and fail to notice his surroundings. A true swordsman takes careful notice of their opponent, their environment, and their emotions."
"Okay. I'm sorry."
"Don't be sorry, Liara. What have I been telling you this whole time? You're learning. You're going to make mistakes. Just remember to learn from them. You're learning fast. If you keep this up, you'll be ready for a lightsaber in no time."
"Do you make mistakes when you fight?"
"More than I care to admit. I've been in many battles, Liara. To be completely honest, I never won even half of the fights I've been in. Victory in combat, however, doesn't necessarily mean overall victory. I've been beaten in combat but still managed to overcome. And I've beaten others in combat only to find that I lost the true battle. Combat is only a small portion of what determines the final outcome.
Okay, I guess.
Trust me, Liara. With time and with patience, all of these lessons will become clear. Now go get ready. We're going to head to the city. Liara smiled with excitement and ran to the ship as Caseus stroked his beard and thought about Liara's training. She was becoming too aggressive. He would have to come up with a new routine. Focus more on her meditation and her understanding of the Jedi path. After that, combat would be their priority. Liara stepped off the ship dressed in a plain outfit, clearly what a child from Dantooine would wear. It would work. Stepping inside, Caseus threw on an old brown poncho given to him by Sabo, and made sure his saber was well concealed. Whatever the people of Chandrilla's thoughts of the Empire were, they couldn't risk outing themselves. Ready?
Ready.
Stepping onto the ship, the ramp closed and the two of them sat in the cockpit as Caseus took off into the sky. As they approached the city, Caseus saw a public area where they could land their ship and blend in. As the ship landed, Caseus saw Liara's hands fidgeting with excitement. Liara, I know you're excited, but I need you to be careful. Contain yourself. We don't want to attract any attention to ourselves.
Got it. Come on.
Liara ran down the ramp as Caseus followed. Looking up at the tall spires and buildings, Liara's eyes grew wide. Never in her life had she seen anything like this.
This is so cool.
You should have seen Coruscant. The entire planet was like this.
You grew up there, right?
I did.
How many buildings were there?
More than you could count. I've got some things we can trade for supplies. Just stay close to me, okay?
Okay.
Caseus and Liara walked towards the city streets and were soon surrounded by the loud noises and bright lights of industry. Things Caseus had nearly forgotten. After spending years on Dantooine, the sensation was almost overwhelming.
What's that over there?
Liara pointed to an expensive-looking store. It's a clothing store. Pressing her face to the window, Liara looked inside at the beautiful dresses on display of every color and design imaginable.
These are pretty.
And expensive. Let's keep moving.
Fine.
Caseus looked around for any food stores or street vendors, preferably anywhere that sold things for trade rather than credit. As he looked down the street, he saw what looked like an old R3 unit helping to clear trash from the streets. It brought back old memories of his old droid companion. When he looked down, Liara wasn't there. Caseus looked up and around for her. Liara? Liara! As he looked around, he saw a sight that nearly made his stomach drop. Liara was speaking to an Imperial recruiter on a street corner. His heart raced as he rushed over and the stormtrooper looked up at him. Are you this girl's father? Yes, I am. Sweetie, what did I tell you about running off? Come on, leave the man alone.
But I like his outfit.
It's pretty nice, isn't it? Standard issue for all soldiers of the Empire. Caseus began to sweat as he looked at Liara admiring the shiny armor. You two don't look like you're from around here. We're from Ord Mantell, in the mining district. I don't remember anything about a mining district on Ord Mantell. Caseus swallowed a lump in his throat as the stormtrooper patted his shoulder. But what do I know? I've been stuck here for the past 12 months. I'm so out of touch with that region. Miners, eh? What made you come out here? We needed a fresh start. Her mother passed away a few months ago, and there were just too many memories.
But Mom isn't...
Caseus gripped her arm tightly as she stopped talking. Yeah, I hear that. My brother and I joined when our parents passed. Best thing that ever happened to us. To the galaxy, really. The Clone Wars really messed everything up. With the Empire in charge, we have order and structure. Right. You get it, right? A lot of the people here don't seem to know how good they've got it. Security and structure. What more could you ask for in this dump?
This place isn't a dump, it's nice.
Caseus held Liara close and looked at the trooper. Well, thank you for your service. We need to be on our way now. Glory to the Empire. Glory to the Empire. Stay safe, you two. Caseus faked a smile and led Liara away before pulling her into a small alleyway and gripping her shoulders tightly.
Ow! Hey!
What did you think you were doing?
I was just...
I told you to stay with me. Do you know who that was? A soldier of the Empire. If you would let anything slip, we would both be in big trouble right now. Big trouble. Caseus saw Liara on the verge of tears and sighed, loosening his grip. Liara, do you remember those people who came to your town? These are the same kinds of people. They are not your friends. They are the people that want us dead. You need to understand. We are being hunted. Just for who we are. The Empire tracks down anyone who has the Force, and they're never seen again. It doesn't matter if you're an adult or a child like you. They'll show no restraint. They will kill you if they find out who you are. I can't let that happen. I have a responsibility to keep you safe. But to do that, I need you to stay close and out of trouble. Do you understand? Liara wiped her eyes and nodded as Caseus hugged her. Everything's going to be all right. Let's get what we need and head back, okay?
Okay.
Caseus smiled softly as the two of them emerged and went about their business. They soon found a marketplace selling food and provisions. What Caseus had to trade wouldn't get them much, but it was better than nothing. Taking his bag of fruit and bread, he walked away.
Daku!
Caseus sighed in frustration, praying what he heard was some stress-related hallucination, but turned around and saw that Daku had snuck aboard and was following them. How much for the critter? What? The critter. I'll pay good money. Always looking for fresh meat. Caseus looked back and forth at the food, and Liara happily petting Daku. Not for sale. Sorry. Suit yourself. Word of advice. Cook 'em on low, light on the spice. Delicious. Caseus raised an eyebrow. Thanks, I'll keep that in mind. Taking the food, Caseus walked to Liara.
Daku was smart. I can't believe he found us.
Yeah, real smart. Come on, Liara. You too, Fluffy. Daku followed as Caseus and Liara walked back towards their ship. They arrived soon, and Caseus opened the ramp to let Liara and Daku in, when he suddenly felt the barrel of a blaster against his back.
Not another move, Caseus.